Today we are visiting the Old City Millwork in Memphis, Tennessee. They build residential and commercial interiors and handmade furniture. Old City Millwork also builds custom check-in kiosks made specifically for Shelby hardware. Man, it is noisy out here. Let's go into the office where it's a little bit quieter.
Welcome to Shelby Podcast, a production of Shelby Systems Media. And now here's your host, Don Alsop.
Now we're in the nice quiet offices of Old City Millwork. The president of Old City Millwork, Posey Hedges, is with us today. Posey, why don't you start off by telling us a little bit about your background and how you got interested in woodwork?
As far as I can remember, I've always been interested in constructing things with my hands, and from imagining the end product to drawing and engineering it and then finally fabricating it. It's always been something very rewarding for me.
So how long have you been in this business, and how would you say things have changed over the past few years?
We opened Old City Millwork in 2005, my business partner, Jason Johns, and I. And we found plenty of work. We grew quickly. It was a very exciting time. No one told us that there was a recession coming. So we found ourselves with not a lot of industry experience, making some hard choices and learning some hard lessons, but very happy to say here we are and still growing despite the times.
Why don't you tell us about some of the technologies that are involved in your business?
Furniture making and lumber and cabinet making, it's been fairly low tech until the last 10 years maybe, and we've really embraced a lot of the modern computer controlled cutting technologies. We've also written front-end software to help us with process management, order tracking, and throughout the learning curve of getting these implemented into an old-fashioned business, it's been pretty exciting to see things work and things grow.
Posey, can you give us an idea of some of the jobs, the kinds of work you do here, and maybe some of the projects that you've completed in the past?
We focus on three segments of the industry: residential, commercial, and specialty furniture. However, we seem to make almost everything. Doors, windows, shutters, cabinetry, tables. We make one-off furniture for technical work like Shelby Systems, kiosks.
What would you say is the most fulfilling project that you've ever worked on, and why was that so meaningful for you?
Well, I'd like to say some recent historical home projects have been really challenging and rewarding. However, there was a request by the Stax Museum to build on a rush basis a display for Isaac Hayes' Academy Award, and we're delivering that today, and that really was a lot of fun and brought in a lot of different materials, lighting, glass, plexiglass, and things that we don't usually on a day-to-day work with. So it was very rewarding to see it all come together very quickly, and that'll be on display today. You
mentioned that you do build these custom check-in kiosks for Shelby customers. Can you kind of walk us through the entire process all the way from the order to the completion of the product?
Well, once a PO is received from Shelby, we open a work order here for the specific kiosks requested. We then order the necessary materials and hardware, and then we set our production schedule. Once everything arrives at the dock, we go to work, cutting out the parts on our CNC machines or assembling the product on the bench. The finished product is then, it's wrapped and crated for shipping. And of course, saying this process now seems so streamlined, but hours of engineering went into building the original kiosks, and from time to time we still tweak that design as new functionality is requested and newer technology, new computers come along.
Posey, I noticed on your Facebook page that you had a quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson, and it says, "Always do what you are afraid to do." What exactly does that quote mean to you?
Well, that quote in particular I like because fear does seem to hold you back it can hold you back from lots of things moving forward in life or in business. But I found when I lean into something uncomfortable that I usually end up learning a lot more than I expected, and the reward is usually greater.
If someone wants to learn more about Old City Millwork and the work you do here, how do they get in touch with you?
Well, they're welcome to visit our website at oldcitymillwork.com. There you'll see examples of our work and a way to contact us through the website.
Posey, thanks for talking to us today. We really enjoyed meeting you, and thanks for being a part of the Shelby family and helping our Shelby customers.
Thanks so much.
You've been listening to Shelby Podcast with your host, Don Alsop. Thanks for listening, and tune in next time for another Shelby podcast.